Hello, my name is Matthew Pfeiffer with MattPfeifferCoaching.com. Welcome to my YouTube channel. On this channel, I create videos and content about toxic, narcissistically abusive relationships, emotional intelligence, self-development. And if you have a question that you would like for me to answer on this channel, make sure you send it to justaskmatt at MattPfeifferCoaching.com. Again, that is justaskmatt at MattPfeifferCoaching.com. Just make sure you keep that email 2 to 3 paragraphs max. You're also very direct and to the point of what your question actually is. If it's too long, if it's too lengthy, unfortunately, I will not be able to get to it. Also, make sure you hit the subscribe notification and the bell notification so you're notified each and every time I upload a new video. I upload new videos on this channel 5 days a week. In this video, this channel is sponsored by BetterHelp. If you need help beyond what this video can provide, make sure that you connect with a therapist. You can connect with an online therapist. BetterHelp has a whole network of therapists that would be able to help you. You'll be able to get in a lot faster, a lot sooner than what you can do in other situations. There's links down below. If you use the link down below, you'll get 15% off your first month. With all that being said, let's get into today's video. So today's video comes from a person who is struggling with whether or not to ask their partner if they want to talk about some disagreements that they have, or if they should just ignore it, if they should just let it go. There's some elements of what's called an anxious avoidant trap. If you're not familiar with attachment styles, I encourage for you to go through some of my videos or look them up. But when we have a person who has an anxious attachment style and we have a person who has an avoidant attachment style, oftentimes, because neither partner knows how to describe and explain their needs, it can create a lot of toxicity within the relationship and create a lot of rifts, and neither partner knows how to really resolve it. So let's get into today's email. Let's see if we can help this person out and in turn help out other people who might be having similar struggles. So this email reads, "Hey Matt, it seems like whenever I do something my partner doesn't like, his tone changes, and I found him from previous conversations when something about me bothers him, he goes to get advice from his friends. One of the things that I'm very cautious of, at least on my page, on my channel, on all my platforms. So we have to understand that some of these things are actually very natural. It's very natural for people to get frustrated. And when they feel like they can't talk to you, they go to get the validation that they want from their friends. And it's also very common for people's tone to change and for people to get kind of frustrated and for people's demeanor to kind of shift when they get frustrated in any relationship, regardless if we're talking about a romantic partner or not. However, we are going to put a bookmark there because there are some elements of that I want to pick apart a little bit later, but let's get through a little bit more of this email. So he goes to get advice from his friends, and his friends, meaning his friends, are not in healthy relationships. We're going to circle back to that here too. I've already discussed with my partner to please speak to me about any issues, big or small, that he may have with me. Should I ignore it or let him come to me about the issue? Or should I ask what's wrong? I also notice that he reflects personal issues onto me and he never tells me about the issue till way later. That's an important factor here. We're going to circle back to that here in a little bit too. And here I am wondering if I did something wrong to him. So I'm hearing some very strong elements of an anxious avoidant trap, where we have a person who tends to cling, wants responses, answers right here, right now, wants to resolve things right here, right now, and another person that tries to create distance. Now, with that being said, what I'm hearing some elements of, the reason why oftentimes people go to their friends, and especially with guys, when they go to their friends and they're talking to them about things that are happening in their relationship, it typically means that they are not being heard in the relationship, that they don't feel comfortable talking to you about what's happening in the relationship. And one of the other factors that I can see that this is actually happening is what you said towards the end of the email, that he doesn't come to you until way later. It's very common with people who struggle with an avoidant attachment style to get very defensive when that partner comes to them and when they want to talk to them about an issue. And instead of listening and hearing and understanding, they get defensive and they try to prove themselves right because they get offended. They think that it's a personal attack when often it is not a personal attack. We have to understand that all relationships, not some, all, every single one of them, even healthy relationships. And you may have heard on some of my other videos that disagreements are a requirement in a healthy relationship. We have to understand that when your partner comes to you about a concern or an issue, it is very important that we create the atmosphere and the environment for them to feel heard, for them to feel understood. Because what happens is that oftentimes we try to position ourselves that I'm right in this situation. I'm right, and I try to prove myself right. And we forget that that's your partner. You are in this together. So if you are 100% right in your disagreement, that means your partner is 100% wrong, which means that even if you're right in that dynamic, in that disagreement, if your partner doesn't feel heard and understood and validated through that situation, you lost the argument, even if you won the argument. The goal when you have disagreements is to find areas that we can meet in the middle. I don't do couples anymore, but when I did, and I would hear situations like this, I would often tell couples to find where your other partner is correct. Everyone always wants to position themselves as I'm right all the time. Find where your partner is correct in whatever it is that they're talking about, and then rebuild and reestablish ground rules from there. But I have a feeling that your partner doesn't feel comfortable coming to you just based on some of the behavior, and they feel. And I wouldn't put too much weight on the fact that their friends are in unhealthy relationships. They're just friends. They're just people that he feels that are going to listen to him and not judge him and not criticize him, which is likely how he feels when he comes to you. And am I saying you're a bad person? Not saying you're a bad person at all. Nothing like that. But we do have to begin to clean some of this up and begin to understand the atmosphere and the environment doesn't feel comfortable enough for the two of you guys to resolve any issues in it. So I would encourage for you to begin to reflect on your defensiveness. Understand that when your partner comes to you, when they talk to you, it's not necessarily a threat of ending the relationship. It's just a disagreement. Disagreements are not disrespect. And I would also encourage for you to kind of study and understand avoidant attachment styles and kind of understand what that actually means. And so you can begin to because what ends up happening is that when you become self-aware of an anxious attachment style, you actually start to feel better about yourself. Not only are you a better partner for your partner, you actually start to feel a lot more confident, not only in the relationship, but you as a person. So thank you very much for writing in. Anyone else who has a question, make sure you send it to justaskmatt@mattpfeiffercoaching.com. Again, that is justaskmatt@mattpfeiffercoaching.com. Make sure you keep that email 2 to 3 paragraphs max, and you're also very direct and to the point of what your question actually is. If you need help beyond what this video can provide, make sure you go to the link below, connect with a therapist on BetterHelp. If you use the link down below, you will get 15% off your first month with your therapist. So with all that being said, thank you very much, and I will see you in the next video.